friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chandra and I make videos about reading, writing, and all things book. Today's video is PrepTober Freewriting, how I explore my ideas. In my vlog at the end of September, I talked about my plans and getting organized, and this is a bit of a continuation on that, although it is not a vlog. I will be mentioning some other videos periodically that contain more information on specific things that I've done to get ready for this PrepTober. So this video will primarily be about the series that I'm working on, but the specific book from the series that I'm working on for Nano. This will be another historical fiction, so I have a lot of videos on historical fiction specifically, which will be linked below. The first thing that I did to get set up for this is this entire series. There will be 3 standalone books and a trilogy at this point, and they're all set in the 1880s. So I just labeled this 1880s stories and have done with it. I have each of the projects named. So the standalones will be Project TJ, Project BS, Project SR. And then the series that we've talked about a little bit is the Secret series. So those 6 books basically will be in the same world. From here, I outlined my notation system, which you can find linked below. And then I started world building. Historical fiction, I count setting research as world building. So I have 2 points in here, setting and world building. They kind of run together in this because of how I did things. I had some ideas about settings that I needed, so I went ahead and started sussing those out. Some of the things that I wrote down, like it's a club in New Orleans. I thought it might be the Valentine Club, but I thought that was a little bit on the nose. And I started doing more research around it, and I found a few words that I thought were interesting. So the club is located in an actual place in New Orleans. And this is where I got into the world building aspect, because I started really digging down into that area of New Orleans. Now, the location is on the corner of Valentine and Vixen. That's a real place in New Orleans. From there, I figured out what parish and ward this is all in. It used to be called parish, now they're called wards. That's a whole separate conversation. So it's in Algiers, which is not necessarily as prominent as some of the other wards, but it is in the 15th ward. I broke down the location specifically where this specific story is set to take place. Project TJ has already been drafted. Although they don't take place in exactly the same location, they are in the same area and use some of the same settings. So I plan to bring that into some of the revisions. I made notes about how the location might be described by someone who was familiar with the area to someone who is not familiar with the area. I did this because I think it's going to be helpful for me later when I'm trying to piece everything together, not to necessarily give it as if I'm giving specific directions. I'll be able to summarize from that. I also went into the history of the area, and I count this as world building. I looked for different landmarks and industries that were prominent in the area. I found out who the archbishop of the local church is. These are all things that may come into the story, not necessarily, but if they do, I will already have that at hand so I can add the details. Along with that, I added notes about when each place was established, because that might be mentioned in the story to place things a little bit more firmly in the time period. I started to build out the characters and created a list of names for people who exist in the same world. I won't necessarily use all of them, but they're available to use as side characters as I might need. I came up with a list of mixed names, and then I paired them off as they might be with a couple, but I don't have to use both names. For example, I have a character whose name is Simon Birch, who might be partnered with Levi. Not necessarily, but it's there as an option. From there, I added more specific notes, and this is where I start free writing. And this is also, within the free writing, is where I bring in my notation system as mentioned before. So I plot out anything that I think is going to be in a specific plot point, but mostly I'm just writing and taking any notes and putting down everything that I think I know about the story. And I go on with several pages like that, asking questions. Some of these questions haven't been answered yet. This covers the character development part and the side character creation. I already have a working title for this, and the questions that I have are incorporated in. Based off of all of that, which covers the free writing part, I decided that I was ready to outline. So I have created my first draft of the outline, which I will go back through and re-outline in October, so this month. All of this work is what I did in September near the end of the month. But the amount, just to give you an idea how much time, not how much time, but how much free writing I did, I will tell you how many pages I have. 11.5 pages of free writing. Now, a lot of this has a space or two between lines. Some of that is to allow me to make notes and add any answers to questions that I come up with as I'm writing. But for the most part, they're pretty solid pages. So this is what I'm going to use to build my outline. And this is the first part of my PrepTober getting ready for Nano. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions down below in the